Question 8. Let's see how question 8 works. The length of a rectangle exceeds its width by 3 meters. The area is 40 meters. So you've got a length of a rectangle. So we've got a rectangle. It's always good to draw a diagram. And if its width is here, we know its length exceeds its width by 3 meters. So it's going to be W plus 3, right? So I'm going to let W equal the width of rectangle. Why? Now, I mean, in year 12, you don't need to define if it's W because it obviously stands for width that's implied, but we do it still here. It just makes us let us know what we're talking about. Okay, so that's a width. This is a width plus 3, which is where we got it. The length of the rectangle exceeds its width by 3 meters. So it's 3 meters more. So that's where we're going with that one. We know that the area is 40 meters. So really the area formula for a rectangle is, well, length times width. Now we know that the length in terms of W, area equals W plus 3, W. So the area of that will equal W squared plus 3W. I'm going to sub in the area. I mean, I could have done that at the start. It doesn't matter. I could have let the area equal 40. It doesn't matter. I just sort of do it step by step for you guys because I'm trying to like scaffold your understanding. You could have had 40, 40 here. It really wouldn't matter. So 40 equals W squared plus 3W. Like we know, this is the area. The area is that times that, and that has to equal 40. So now we want to find out what W is. I'm going to make it equal 0 again to try and use the null factor law. It's a lot easier to work with. So now I can factorize and get the null factor law. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me negative 40. So I want it to be positive negative. So therefore the absolute difference between the absolute value of those numbers have to have a difference of 3. So I'm thinking 4 and 10, that's not going to work. I'm thinking 8 and 5. 8 and 5 has to work. And 8 has to be the bigger one because it's positive 3. Because that would give me 8W. And that would give me minus 5W. So we've got those values there. Now I can use the null factor law. Therefore, W needs to equal negative 8. Because if I substitute negative 8 in here, that's going to give me 0. 0 times anything is going to get me nothing. Or it could be, which I write and, 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. 5 times 13 is still 0. That's why we do this. That's why we make it equal 0. Because then if you factorize it, you can see what number it needs to be to make this statement true. That's all we're doing. However, we know that W needs to be obviously greater than, in this case, 0 because of this one. So W needs to be greater than 0. So we can just write, we want as W needs to be greater than 0. W equals 5 meters. Now just read it. Find the length of the rectangle. The length of the rectangle if the area, find its dimensions. Now I haven't answered its question, have I? I've only talked about the width. So therefore, I'd write, you need to actually reread the question, you need to answer it. That's a big tip for you guys. Make sure you answer it at the very end. So therefore, that means therefore, by the way, the dimensions of the rectangle I'm going to run out of room. Here we go. Is we know that this is W, which is 5 plus 3. So that's 8 is 8 meters by 5 meters. And that makes sense because that we can check. 8 by 5 is 40 meters. And the length exceeds the width by 3 meters. Hey, we got it right. Well done. Hopefully you guys got that one right too.